Hello everyone and welcome to the ETRC Digital Racing Challenge, where today we will go racing for the final time of the season at the Harama Circuit in Spain. My name's Chris McCarthy. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you to the show as we will officially crown our champion this evening, and I'm sure we'll once again be treated to some fantastic racing at the Harama Circuit. Of course, a circuit that we always like to visit in the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We will visit it this season as well for round number 3 at the end of September. And we edge ever closer, of course, to the real thing getting underway. It's just a couple of weeks now before we're going to head over to the Czech Republic, to Most, to get the season underway. But first, we must visit and finish this fantastic championship that has kept us all entertained in the truck racing world whilst we have been locked away. So of course we were out at the Bugatti circuit last time at Le Mans. Some brilliant racing that treated us there, particularly in the second race, of course, with the reverse grid always lending itself to some brilliant racing. Now, if you did watch that race, there was a change post-race. The winner that did win on track, which was Teo Calve, took his second win of the season. He was given a penalty post-race due to track limits. That dropped him to 4th. That meant Norbert Kiss once again got a double victory. It was his 11th win of the season for Norby Kiss and his 13th podium. He took both wins. Jonathan Andre finished second in that second race as a result. That was his, I believe it was his 6th second place of the season. And finishing in 3rd place, it was his first time getting on the podium, Antonio Albacete. He had taken, I think, 5 4th places, I think it was in the end, with another 4th place in that race number 2. I think he was sick of finishing there, but he did graduate and get a podium. I think here, though, he'll want to do it on track and actually get across in the top 3. You may see to the bottom right hand side of your screen that we do have the trucks out there, so we'll cross over to them very shortly. Superpole is taking underway. If you joined us for the first time, what a time to join us. Last round, brilliant racing. We will treat you to, I'm sure. This basically sets the grid for the first race. And then in the first race, the top 8 will reverse positions. That's how the grid for race number 2 will start. We have 9 entries due to enter tonight. So one person's going to actually miss out on that reverse grid if they've all turned up. And 8th place will be put to the front. The last 2 rounds in a row now, we've had 5-way battles all the way until the last corner, pretty much. One of the Bugatti circuit was particularly entertaining. That a circuit, as some of you may know, though, lots of long straights, lots of fast and flowing corners around there. So you can be 3-4 tenths slower around the Bugatti circuit, but still keep up with the driver ahead of you. This circuit might be a little bit different. It's a lot more technically challenging, lots of undulation changes, lots of heavy braking zones, and lots of flowing corners like this that then lead you into heavy braking zones, as we can see here. It's not the classic circuit, although we do visit it a lot, that you'd go to, that you'd expect trucks to go around and race at. But you know, this is what we want to do. We want to put the drivers to the test. We want to put them at the tracks they're going to be visiting this year. And as I said, they're going to be there at the end of September for round number 3 of the season. Now, Norby Kiss, last time we went to Jarama last season, where we actually finished the championship in the 4 races we did there. He took a race win, and also taking a win there was Adam Latchko as well. Adam Latchko, to the top left of your screen, that's the positions. He's just moved up to 6th. He could do with moving up the order a little bit more, couldn't he? So the official championship standings, let me run you through them as we get to the latter stages of this qualifying session. Norby Kiss leads on 258 points. He is the champion, but he's turned up to officially crown himself the champion when the flag flies for race number 2. We do technically have a battle for second. Sasha Lentz and Teo Calve battling away for that. Now, they're split by 36 points. That penalty for Teo Calve moved the gap from 26 points up to 36. With 20 points up for grabs for the race win, you can probably work out that Sasha Lentz really has to have two very poor results for Teo Calve to stand any chance of moving up to second. So it's quite unlikely. The battle that we are mostly going to keep our eye on is the battle for fourth place. Antonio Albacete and Jaden Anderson. They are fifth and eighth in the standings so far. They are split by just 7 points, so that can change in one race quite easily. Now, the standings in this Super Pole session, Kiss leads by just under a second from Andre. Then we have Calve. Then we have Albacete. Then we have Latchko. Then we have Bjorn Tiehaus. He was replaced by brother Henry Tiehaus last time out. And then we have Jaden Anderson after that. So Norby Kiss it is who leads the way. It's a sight we are very much used to seeing in both Super Pole and in the first race as well. He's had 11 wins to his name. He's had 13 podiums. He only finished off the podium once, and that was a couple of rounds ago when that happened. And Norby Kiss, for the first time, didn't take a race win 2 rounds ago. He got back to that winning form last time, took another double race victory, and he'll hope to continue that here and extend that to 13 wins. And out of 16 races, what a record that would be. To have 15 podiums as well would be quite impressive. But Antonio Albacete, he scored his first podium of the season last time out. He was quite disappointed when we spoke to him afterwards that he had kind of just missed out once again, but he got that first place. That is his best result of the season. Let's see if he can continue that. Jonathan Andre, he sits second in the standings so far. Jonathan Andre, 6 podiums to his name. He's had 4 second place finishes along with that, 3 second place finishes, sorry. So at the moment, he's back in that second place. He likes to finish. Then we have Sasha Lentz in third place. That's where he gets quite close in the standings, isn't it? Between Andre back to Albacete. Teo Calve will want to get his second race win of the season that he was denied last time. Then we have Albacete, Latchko, Tiehaus, and Jaden Anderson in 8th place. It looks like we are missing one of the drivers, unfortunately, at this race. I don't think that might be Shane Breiten, who we are missing. But that looks like that is qualifying indeed complete. Norby Kiss is going to lead us off. 8 drivers out there, unless one of them wasn't able to take part in qualifying, they're going to be completely reversed where they finish for the second race. So, well, there you go. That is Super Pole complete. As always, it is Norby Kiss who seems to be leading the way. The only real time he didn't get pole was when he couldn't turn up for qualifying a couple of rounds ago. So he's back to where we're used to seeing him. That was at Zolder that he was unable to take part in Super Pole because he was on his way back from the Hungarian Grand Prix where he was fulfilling TV duties. So there we go. Norby Kiss at the head of the field. I'm just being told in my ear is Shane Breiten, who we unfortunately are missing. He had a pretty eventful run out last time, didn't he, as well? Was involved in some incidents during the second race. Internet connection, unfortunately, hassling him at the moment. For those of you new to this kind of racing, to esports, basically that's like having a mechanical problem before you've even gone out. So he's currently going to try and fix that. Hopefully he'll be able to take part in the first race. He will go off the back of the grid, but I'm sure he's going to have some fun trying to make his way through at Harama. And we're going to have a closer look at the track now for those of you not familiar with it. 13 turns, lots of elevation changes. Let's go and have a close look at it now. Well, Harama, as we said, 3.8 kilometers, 13 corners. It's got all those elevation changes that we like. I was having a look at some videos earlier. It is quite an interesting one to race at. There is plenty of room for overtaking. It might not be the long straights that we are used to at Le Mans, but plenty of places where they can chuck one down the inside. Although Le Mans had lots of straights, one thing it didn't have was a huge amount of places to overtake. When those opportunities came up, you had to grab it with both hands. And that's why we kind of had that, big queue of 5 drivers all with each other. Was one of the races of the season, I think, that second race. But the Harama Circuit, I've talked to you a little bit about it. Let's go and see it with our own eyes.
Bienvenidos al Jarama.
The final weekend of the FIA ETRC is being held at Jarama, close to Madrid, for the second year in a row. The circuit, which celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2018, is the spectacular venue for the showdown of this year's season. Two important decisions are still to be made. Who will be second?
Well, as David Addison said there in the clip, we've hosted it as season finales before, and we're going to do so again in the ETRC Digital Racing Challenge. And it's a shame we've come to the end of the Digital Racing Challenge, really. I hope you've all enjoyed it as much as I have, and as much as the team has as well. There's been a lot of hard work that's gone into getting this racing to you during the time where we've not been allowed to go racing. And I think the drivers, most importantly of all, have done a really good job entertaining us, as they usually would do, but from the safety of their own homes. Let's bring those drivers to you, shall we? We'll have a closer look at who they are and what they're going to look like out on track. They're going to run the same liveries that they actually would do out on track as well, which makes it a little bit easier for people like myself, especially, to spot who they are. So hopefully 9 of them are going to be here tonight. We'll, of course, talk through Shane Breiten as well, so that you can see what he looks like, because if he can't get a signal to get out in race 1, I'm sure we'll get him out there in race number 2 as well. The team are going to be working really hard to bring that to you now. So let's have a look then. Here is going to be the grid. In the number 2, Antonio Albacete got his first podium of the season last time out. He sits 5th in the standings. He's a 3-times champion as well in 2005, 2006 and 2010. And he's had a championship podium in the FIA ETRC every year since 2005. And he is in that incredibly close battle for 4th in the championship, just has 7 points between himself and Jaden Anderson. Moving on then, we'll have a look next at the number 6, which will be Jonathan Andre. There is Jonathan Andre. It's quite an easy one to notice, isn't he? You can spot him from a mile away. He is in the MAN. Championship position for him is 6th, but that very much could change. He likewise is in a bit of a close battle for position with Adam Latchko behind him. 6 podiums to his name, got 2 of those at Le Mans last time out, and added to his 2nd place finishes, got a 3rd second place of the season. He only joined at Slovakia, which was the 3rd round, so he is scoring half points, as are a few of the other drivers. Next, then, he's going to return to race with us at this round. It's after we move away from the number 6 of Jonathan Andre. We will go and have a look at Bjorn Tijhuis. He had to be replaced last time. There he is. Bjorn Tijhuis. He's in the Scania, is the Dutch driver. 10th in the championship. Really, his championship has gone from him, late joiner, and also had to be replaced last time out. 15th in the British Truck Racing Championship last year. So inexperienced compared to some of the rest of the drivers out there. I think he'll just be hoping to improve on the 5th place finish, which is his best result. He's finished in that position 4 times this season. Let's see if he can go 1 better, or perhaps 2, and end with a podium this time out. Well, he's had problems already today, has Shane Breiten. We'll go and have a look at him next. Sadly, he's not been able to get a connection so far as the British driver. There you can see him. A fairly eventful run out last time. He has finished, he has a best result of 6th so far this season, which was at the Nürburgring at race number 2. He's raced in the FIA ETRC for the last 4 seasons now, has taken 2 wins and 3 podiums during that time, and he was 10th in the championship back in 2018. Let's see if he can get a top 5 finish here today. Hopefully we see him out there. Well, then we come next to the driver that unfortunately was denied his 2nd win of the season post-race last time out, and it's really affected his battle to try and get 2nd in the championship in the Freightliner there. 3rd in the championship is Teo Calve. So 1 win for him so far this season. That was at Nürburgring race number 2. 6 podiums along with that as well. One of only a handful of drivers to take a win this season. 36 points back from Sasha Lentz. It's a huge task to close down, but let's see what he can do this time, see if he can get that 2nd race win. Next along after that, we have the number 23 British driver, which is Jaden Anderson. He is sitting 5th in the championship, 1 win to his name. That was at the 2nd race at Zolder. Did very well to hold off the huge amount of pressure he had behind him, including the likes of Norby Kiss. Didn't put a foot wrong in that race. So he's capable of taking race wins, is Jaden Anderson. Let's see what he can do this time. Finished 5th and 6th last time. Things not quite going his way, but he'll hope, particularly going into the 2nd race where we flip the grid round as we did at Zolder, that he might be able to go and end his season on a high with another race win. Well, he's 2nd in the championship to Sasha Lentz. There he is in the number 30, the German driver. 2nd in the championship, 1 win to his name. That was at Zolder, the only round where Norby Kiss did not get a win. 13 podiums to his name. Unfortunately, his 100% record on the podium came to an end last time in race number 2. But if he can get 15 podiums in a race, in a season of 16 races, that would not be a bad effort at all, and he can officially crown himself the vice champion in the 1st race this evening. Well, next along, he is already officially the champion, but he'll officially be crowned it once we finish race number 2. Norby Kiss, he cannot be beaten. He's going to look to add to those 11 wins and 13 podiums. What a season it has been for the Hungarian. Has had experience racing in esports as Norby Kiss, a little bit more than some of his competitors, and it has shown with the fantastic form he has had. But not just in esports, he's a 2 times champion, as many of you will know as well. In 2014 and 2015, finished 3rd in the 2017 championship as well. Big name within the community is the 35-year-old. Double race win once again last time out. Let's see if he can do the same this evening. And then we come next along to Adam Latchko. Adam Latchko sitting 7th in the standings, is the 35 Czech driver. 7th in the championship. Best result for him, though, is a 6th place. Hasn't had a top 5 so far this season. Let's see if he can change that. He's finished in that 6th place 4 times so far this season. Wants to get a 1st podium. He's come fairly close to doing it on a couple of occasions. He won the official championship, the FIA ETRC, in 2017. 1st season was back in 2006. Since then, he stood on the championship podium 7 times, which includes the last 5 seasons. That's something he'll look to add to when we go racing in just a couple of times for the season. It's going to be a fantastic season as well. But first of all, we must finish the Digital Racing Challenge. Brilliant. That's our lineup for this evening. Hopefully Shane Breiten might be able to join us. We did talk about him there, so fingers crossed the British driver can get in with us. If not for the 1st race, the 2nd race as well. Harama is going to be our location. If you have just joined us, welcome. We've had Super Pole, so we're going to be going into the 1st race for you very shortly. And before we do that, we have the Ford F Max lap where you will get a closer look at the track. So we'll be doing that very shortly. But before then, let's talk a little bit more. I'll tell you what, why don't we talk about the season coming up? Because this is the last round of the ETRC. So the calendar for you, in case you need to be reminded of it. I'm sure most of you don't. But in 2 weeks, we go to the Czech Republic, to Most, where we get going. Then we go to Zolda after that, which will be on the 12th and 13th of September. Harama is on the 26th and 27th of September. We're racing there this evening. Then we go to the Hungaroring, where I was just a week ago. Fantastic circuit is the Hungaroring. Love that place. 17th and 18th of October, we will be there. Then we go to Le Mans after that, which will be on the 7th and 8th of November. And then Misano, really good location. Love that one. 14th and 15th of November. A very condensed season for us this time, as all the championships around the world have to be 6 rounds coming up in that one. So really looking forward to that. All the drivers you're going to see tonight, most of them are going to be out there. If not on the track, then they'll be off it as well, as we do have some mechanics that have joined in this season to get behind the wheel and show their capabilities as drivers. I'm sure some of those maybe don't have the budgets to do it for real, but they do, of course, help some of the drivers out within the garages, and it's been brilliant for people like that all around the esports community to get the opportunity to go racing. So I'm very excited to watch the ETRC this season. It's been something that I've been new to, but I absolutely love it. I've been lucky enough to go and watch truck racing a couple of times, and I tell you what, I really have fallen in love with it, having to fill in for David Addison in the last couple of rounds, whilst his calendar has become very, very busy indeed since we have gone racing. Once again, to remind you of the standings, Norbykiss is your champion, 258 points. Sasha Lentz, second, 187. He can officially crown himself vice champion in this first race because he has 36 points over Teo Calve. If he's 20 points ahead of him, basically, he's the champion. So he only needs to officially finish 5 points ahead of him. So if Sasha Lentz is to take the win and Teo Calve finishes second, it's all over. So we'll keep a close eye on that one. The main battle to watch is Antonio Albacete. He's going to be coming in high on confidence, got that first podium last time out. So he's kind of broken that barrier. If you always miss out on podiums, and you know that happened to him 4 or 5 times, you almost lose a lot of confidence within yourself finishing on the podium. And Antonio Albacete broke that last time. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him challenging. Jaden Anderson, though, will have something else to say about that. That one, I'm sure, is going to go down to the final race in a reverse grid as well. So very excited. I'm going to take a deep breath and get myself ready. In the meantime, we're going to bring you the Ford F-Max lap. Well, there is the Ford F-Max lap, a closer look at the circuit if you needed reminding. Harama Circuit, brilliant place to come and finish this digital racing challenge, as we have done for the last couple of seasons in the European Truck Racing Series. 2 25-minute races as always. The clock will start rolling when they set off on the warm-up lap, so we will add an extra lap at the end. 3.3 kilometers in length, 13 corners as well. There you can see your best qualifying time of 154.841. So less laps than what we might get to at some places. It is a long one, this one. Some very tricky corners, hard braking zones as well. So it does take a little bit longer to get around, as the elevation changes also cause a gap to that as well. That is a look at your championship, Norby Kiss. He has won the championship already. Technically, we do have a battle for second, and then a very close battle for fourth place. And behind that as well, sixth place between Jonathan Andre and Adam Latchko. Also a close one to have a look at. So hopefully Shane Breiten down in 13th will be with us. We also have Bjorn Tiehouse out there forming what will be a 9-truck grid. We have to say a special thanks to the people that have brought you the series. Of course, David Addison commentating on the first 6 rounds of the series. The rest of the commentators as well, we're bringing it to you in a few different languages. But we have to say a big thanks to the guys bringing the broadcast, the organisers, as well as the race commission as well, making this a fair racing series, which all the drivers want to see, and you guys do as well. And I think with that organisation, we have seen some really, really clean racing. So I have to say big thanks to everyone that has been able to bring you this series. They've worked incredibly hard over the last few weeks to get 8 rounds of brilliant racing out there, and hopefully you have all enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a comment down below and let us know what your thoughts have been. Hopefully this isn't the first time we get a digital racing challenge. Of course, we do have time in the winter where we aren't going racing. And who knows, I think it's been popular along the drivers. Let us know if it's been popular with yourselves as well. And if you want to see it again, let us know in the comments below, and hopefully we'll be able to see it to you. Okay, starting grid. Let's remind you who is going to be where. Norby Kiss is going to head off from pole position. He was almost a second clear of Jonathan Andre, who will start alongside him on the front row. Andre sits 6th in the championship. That's a really brilliant performance from him. Then we have Sasha Lentz and Teo Calve battling for second in the series. Behind that, Antonio Albacete got on the podium for the first time last time out. He's only a couple of positions away from getting there once again. Adam Latchko, who is 7th in the standings, he starts in 6th. The returning Bjorn Tiehouse will be on row number 4 with Jaden Anderson. I'm not too sure if Shane Breiten has been able to make it. He's in the purple livery truck, and no, he hasn't. So it's going to be an 8-driver grid. They will be reversed at the end of the race. And that is what the standings will be going into the second race. They do have to take the flag, though, for that to happen. If they DNF the race, then they start at the back once again. So I do have to remind that they have to get to the flag for that to happen. Now, we have been set off. The Mercedes Atros at the start of at the head of the field is going to lead us round. The clock is on its way down, but we do add a lap on at the end of the race to make up for the lost time that we get on this roll-up lap. This is the time where the drivers just get themselves familiar with the circuit once again, just trying to figure out where they're going to make their moves throughout the race. They will, of course, have been doing a lot of testing leading up to this, some more than others, depending on how busy they have been, but they're also just going through the start within their mind. I can tell you from having raced myself for a few years, not in machinery like this, but you know, this is the lap where you always just go through that start in your mind. You kind of play it out. What exactly are you going to do? If you're Norby Kiss, you're just thinking about getting through that first lap. There you can see him to the bottom right-hand side of the picture, and happy gentleman, isn't he? As he is getting ready to get underway. Looks very, very calm. Doesn't look nervous at all. You can tell that within a driver's body language. If they're moving about a lot, if they're fidgeting a lot, that's usually a sign of nerves. But Norby Kiss, very settled. And I wouldn't say there's a lot more on his mind than just getting this one underway and setting off to take another victory. Jonathan Andre is alongside him, and behind that We have the likes of Teo Calve and Sasha Lentz. Sasha Lentz in the green and black livery, number 30. Albacete, Latchko behind that one, and then the likes of Anderson and Tyhouse also out there as well. It's going to be a hectic start to the race, I'm sure. Sometimes these first races are a little bit more settled than the second ones, where the grids are completely reversed. So make sure you stick with us for that second race, because it is always extremely exciting. All the races we've had so far this season, the second ones have been particularly entertaining, particularly the last one, which went down to the last corner, last lap. Okay, let's concentrate on the task in hand, though. To the left of picture, that is Norby Kiss. To the right-hand side of screen, that is Jonathan Andre. For the last time of the season, we get a race one underway. It's the Harama Circuit. Any second now, foots are going to go to the floor, and we will be underway in the ETRC Digital Racing Challenge for round number 8. And off we go. Norby Kiss now gets his foot down in the number 20 there. A fantastic start there for Teo Calve. He's on the right-hand side of screen, making it 3 across, going in towards turn number 1. Oh, Norby Kiss getting a little bit of a tap there. Sasha Lentz just behind him as they make their way around turn number 1. The number 30 there of Sasha Lentz trying to get his way through. He's going to be on the inside there of Jonathan Andre as they come in towards turn number 3, sorry. For the first time, we've got the number 2 off the track, Antonio Albacete. He's lost control, and he's going to take someone with him as he runs wide. He's gone into the number 55 of Adam Latchko. The pair of them off into the gravel. We'll have to see a replay of that one, but it just seemed that he got himself on the grass, did Anderson there. Oh, and it's also happening once again. So there you go, Antonio Albacete getting himself on the grass, losing control, and the innocent Adam Latchko, unfortunately, just taken victim on the exit. But it looks like Norby Kiss is leading from Jonathan Andre, from Sasha Lentz, and it's Teo Calve. Bjorn Tyhouse is in 5th. Jamie Anderson 6th, then it's the recovering Antonio Albacete and Adam Latchko as they make their way uphill for the first time. Sasha Lentz, there you can see, he is in 3rd place in the early stages of this one as they now come downhill. Tricky section of the track this, as they now break downhill braking zones. Always a little bit tougher, always easy to get caught out into those, as we just see Sasha Lentz there caught out in the downhill braking zone, and now he's going to go tumbling down the order. So Sasha Lentz is giving himself a lot of hard work to do now. I'm sure we'll see that one once again, but this is where the field is very congested in this battle for 3rd place. There you can see Tyhouse just getting out of shape as he now makes his way downhill. He's up to 4th place here through the last corner. Flat out it is through there. Kiss is being kept company by Andre out front, and then it's anyone's guess who's going to be 3rd, 4th backwards. Calve, I think you could argue, has a little bit of breathing space in 3rd, doesn't he? But from Tyhouse backwards, it really is all to play for. We have drivers on the recovery in that part as well. They can see Anderson just giving a little bit. Oh no! Spin there for the number 55 of Adam Latchko. And his race going from bad to worse now. He was taken out going into the corner we're about to come up to on the opening lap, turn number 4. But that time it seemed his own doing as off the road there. That is Tyhouse. That's going to allow Jamie Anderson to go through into 4th place. We've got under investigation the number 2 and the number 55, which is Albacete, and the 55 is Latchko. That was for that first lap incident as they come uphill. That's Sasha Lentz in the green and black livery trying to make his way through up into 4th place, and through he goes. Got the move done before they reach the corner. So that's him now past Jamie Anderson, who we are looking at now. Tyhouse behind that. Then it's Albacete next along in the number 2, Latchko in the number 8, rounding out the field. Up front, the gap is 1.5 seconds. Gaps to the top left of your screen. You'll see those changing all the time. So Kiss is leading. This is this downhill braking zone, which is very easy to get wrong. If you get a downhill braking zone wrong, it's going to be a lot worse than getting an uphill braking zone wrong, as you might imagine. You're just carrying a lot more speed. You've got to get the truck slowed down a little bit earlier than you would have to do if you're going uphill. And Sasha Lentz, we saw exactly what can go wrong when you do that just a lap ago. But here he is in 4th place. Jaden Anderson behind Tyhouse in 6th place. Albacete in 7th. Latchko in 8th. I have to say, Teo Calve is doing a good job. He seems to be, just having a look at the times, he's not quicker than the guys ahead, but he certainly isn't slower either. So Sasha Lentz there in 4th. He's now leading the rest of the field, all debating 4th place. That's Albacete in the number 2, Latchko in the 55 behind, Tyhouse directly ahead of him. We look back at Latchko. Now he would take pole position for race number 2 if he finishes here, so it's not all doom and gloom, but not really where he wants to finish. No one wants to be at the back of the field. Oh, and that was a little bit of a tap there, wasn't it, for Albacete? Latchko just running into the back of him. Constantina effect, I think that was coming into play. Already 17 minutes remaining. Its first few minutes have absolutely flown by, hasn't it? It's been a real busy start to the race. Not for Norby Kiss. His gap is almost 3 seconds now. The top 4, 5, top 4, I'd say, make that all very much spread, have all very much spread themselves out. But from Anderson backwards, everyone's still in the fight, and Anderson is the one at the head of this quartet here. We are looking at Antonio Albacete, who took that podium last time. He will start in the front row for race 2 if he finishes where he is. This is this downhill braking zone that we've been talking about, and Albacete just getting things a little bit crossed up. That's going to delay him on the exit. Latchko also getting the rear end, stepping out on him. I think what we're seeing here is a couple of very frustrated drivers who find themselves a little bit out of position, aren't we? And at Tyhouse, well, Anderson, we're looking back at Tyhouse now. I just wonder if Anderson's going to be able to hold on to this. Every time they hit the start-finish straight, and it is a fairly long one, that just allows the likes of Tyhouse, Albacete and Latchko to close in. Tyhouse is in a bit of a tricky situation, isn't he? He's debating whether he needs to defend or whether to try and go for this, and he's got that all wrong, and he's gone into the back of Anderson, and that's going to force Anderson out wide, and that's going to allow Tyhouse, who it looked, I don't know if Tyhouse was delayed there, but to me it looked like he might have got off the throttle. So if that was Tyhouse getting off the throttle, that was very respectful driving. Oh no, but he's been, well, that was all caused by Albacete, who went straight into the back of Tyhouse. He went straight into the back of Anderson, and I think it's, well, that's allowed Albacete to gain some places there, but that would certainly be looked into as the number 15 there of Tyhouse just getting a place, and Latchko is going to be at the back of this once again. Anderson now dropping to the back as they make their way uphill. So Albacete, 2 places going for him, but he may lose those with a penalty post-race, because that looked to me as if, I don't think he received any contact there. I think that was all his own doing. Push Tyhouse into the back of Anderson as they now come uphill once more. Just under 15 minutes plus a lap remaining. I'm sure we'll get another look at it. Meanwhile, out front, Kiss has pretty much doubled his lead. It's up to 4.2 seconds. Calve is keeping Andre honest. He's keeping that gap out around 2 seconds. Likewise, Sasha Lentz on Teo Calve. Well, it looked like a sort of explosion in this battle was set to go off, and it has done on the last lap, on this lap rather. Will the same happen again now? Now we've had drivers lose positions, as that looks like, I thought that was Albacete pulling over to allow people through for a little bit there, but that's him actually just trying to break the toe a little bit from Tyhouse. This battle definitely isn't over, is it? This is going to be round 2, 3, 4. I've kind of lost count now how many times these guys have ran into the back of each other. As through they come through turn number 2, Fangio corner. They now make their way down towards turn 3. Quick turn 3 it is, which leads us into Le Mans corner. And that can happen if you get your outside wheels onto the gravel. It can force you wide at the next corner. Latchko actually did a really good job there, didn't he, to hold on to that one. As into the right-hander he goes, just getting a little bit of a tap there in the back from Anderson. Tyhouse losing touch here. He's got to be really careful here as Bjorn Tiehaus, because he's starting to lose touch to Albacete ahead. Albacete has got that gap up to 0.8 of a second. If he can get it to over a second, then he could be away and clear from this. Downhill they go. We are about halfway through this race now. Just under that perhaps, as through the right-hander we go at turn number 9. And they'll now make their way up through 10 and into Bugatti corner at turn number 11. Quick left-hander it is at T10. Now downhill they go. It's the Bugatti corner. Tricky one this, one of the trickiest on the circuit. And then they'll head back uphill towards the final 2 corners. Monza at T12 and then through turn number 13 flat out. This is going to be a brave move from Anderson. Fills the mirrors there of Latchko. Latchko not buying any of it though. Keeps a good line through that corner as they now come flat out through the final corner and down the start-finish straight they go. Just 12 minutes now plus a lap. You can see immediately pulling over to the inside of the circuit there is Albacete, and he's starting to break away now. He did a 156 last time in comparison to the 157 of Tiehaus. That's brought the gap to over a second. It was 0.8 a little bit earlier in the lap, so he's pulling away 3-4 tenths, maybe even a little bit more per lap here as Anderson runs wide out of turn 1, and you can see all the speed that he's knocked off in the process through this very quick corner. Got to be brave through there. Oh dear, up ahead. That looks like Albacete. I don't know if he was just trying to take a wider line to help his exit, but it looked to me as if that was a slight mistake there from Albacete. The gaps will tell the truth, won't they? At the moment, it's still 1.1 seconds, so I think he might have just got away with it. But once again, he just seems a little bit out of shape through the middle section of this lap. Nothing to report out front. It's still very much as you were. We're going to be with this one to the end, I imagine, because the rest of the field are all by themselves. At the back of this queue, Anderson has made a mistake, and he has now lost over a second now to the likes of Latchko. He's going to give himself a little bit of work to do here. It's Jamie Anderson. Bjorn Tiehaus is closing the gap to Albacete, who we've seen made a couple of mistakes on this lap. Just over 10 minutes plus a lap remaining now. Kiss, Andre and Sasha Lentz, your top 3. Jonathan Andre, last time out, finished in 3rd and 2nd place. To add to those, make it 6 podiums now. This will be his 7th of the season if he can finish where he is. And it would also be his 4th 2nd place finish to create what has been a really impressive second half of the race. He got that first 2nd place at the Nürburgring, then did the same in Zolder race 2, and then again in Le Mans race 2. So this will be his 2nd time getting a 2nd place finish in race 1. So the season is kind of coming to an end for him at the wrong time, really. He's just hit a huge amount of form, but he will end on a high, and I wonder if that's going to help his confidence when we go to the Czech Republic in a couple of weeks' time. Tiehaus just coming in to the right-hander. Raced in that British Truck Racing Championship last year, as we talked about. Sasha Lentz in 3rd, though. Last time out, he had a 2nd and a 5th place. The 2nd race for him really didn't go well. He had some dramas at the start of the race last time, did Sasha Lentz. That kind of affected him, and he was at the back of that 5-way battle for the lead. Just couldn't get past Antonio Albacete. In the end, he had to settle for that 5th place. He was one of many drivers who get caught up at the start of the 2nd race. The likes of Tiehaus was another one who dropped from pole all the way down to 9th in about 4 corners, really. Adam Latchko, Shane Breiten, Jamie Anderson also all finding themselves with a little bit of problems. But Sasha Lentz overall, been a good season for him. Now, in terms of the battle for 2nd, it's one I haven't actually thought a huge amount about. So if he finishes in 3rd place, he'll score 12 points. Calvé behind him will score 10, and that would be that actually. That would extend his gap for second, only by a couple of points, but it would extend it up to 38 points, and that will be him crowned vice champion. So Sasha Lentz, this could be a very good result for him, and what you could say would be his most worthy podium of the season, really. So this is really good stuff from Sasha Lentz. He had those 13 podiums in a row up until that last race in Le Mans. So this will be his 14th podium in 15 races. Really not a bad effort at all for Sasha Lentz. He has had one win of the season. That was back at Zolder. I'm sure he'd love to add to that in the next race, but he will have some overtaking to do if he wants to get there. This is Jonathan Andre. He is going to try and make it 7 podiums with this result. Jonathan Andre 6th in the standings. And there you can see just how on the limit he is coming downhill there in comparison to Lentz behind, who just seems a little bit more comfortable. Now this was a replay. This was Albacete getting it all wrong. Was he helped onto the grass there though? He ended up going into the number 55 there of Adam Latchko, and that dropped the pair of them down the field. Now there has been a two-second podium there for number 2. We just saw why it was. No real surprise. So that is going to be a podium at the end of the race for Albacete. If it is 2 seconds, that actually wouldn't drop him down a place so far. Jaden Anderson in the background getting a little bit out of shape once again. Got to try and settle himself down as Jaden Anderson. He will start at the front of the field for the next race, though. I do remind you, the top 8 are reversed. There's 8 of them out there for this race due to Shane Breiten not being able to get a connection. Now, Anderson got a win in a reverse grid race at Zolder. He would love to do that again, I'm sure. Adam Latchko just trying to look to the inside of Tie House. This 4-way battle has really settled down. Since Albacete got past and into 5th, he has now broken clear, showing the pace he has, and that's a danger for these 3 behind going into the next race. He clearly has the edge over them in 1 lap pace. Race control warning for the number 55. Well, he's done a little bit of pushing, and it's being noticed there for Adam Latchko, so he's got to be careful. Uphill he comes, and I think Ty is starting to go on a few of the machines out there now, aren't they? A few of the drivers just suffering with a little bit of loss of rear end grip. These 3 battling over 6th place, coming downhill. What I will say is it may be for 6th, 7th and 8th and in an 8-driver field, but it does look like a lot of fun out there, doesn't it? I've got to say, there's worse ways to spend your Sunday afternoon, and being out there in what you would usually drive virtually, going head-to-head with some of your competitors, friends as well, colleagues, and just overall having a really great time, and having it out there being enjoyed by people like myself and you, the viewers, and also something for them to go and watch back afterwards. So really this has been something that was set up to not only keep the very popular ETRC truck racing to you, but also something for the drivers to keep themselves busy and entertainment as well. You know, for a while we didn't have any racing to watch when the pandemic first broke. Very quickly, esports championships became popular, and it's because they are really good to watch. Something I've been commentating on esports now for since 2018. A few championships I've been lucky enough to commentate on, and really pleased to get the opportunity to do ETRC, and they are good. They're very, very good, and you think the drivers doing it from the comforts of their own home. Now, a lot of drivers I've spoke to in esports racing say they get more nervous doing it from home than they do if they were actually out there on track, and that's because you've got less distractions around you. You haven't got a truck underneath you moving around, have you? You've got you're in potentially your bedroom or your front room. You've got the distractions of things around you. And all you've got is, you know, a rig that you are trying to work. So maybe we'll ask a couple of the drivers afterwards and see if we can speak to some of them about that and put that question to them. But 3 minutes to go and a three-way battle going on here for 6th place. Albacete is clear. The gap that Norby Kiss has got is quite impressive, isn't it? I don't know what the biggest gap he's actually won by, but I don't think that would be too far off, would it? 10 seconds between himself and Andre. Sasha Lentz a further 2 seconds back. He's slowly picked away at that gap to Andre. Calve 4th, Albacete 5th, Tyhouse 6th, and then Latchko and Anderson. Looking ahead to race. Off in the gravel there, that's Tyhouse, and that's going to drop him down the field. Now, there might have been a bit of contact there because I don't know if Latchko, he didn't have anywhere else to go. So that might give Tyhouse a bit of a chance here to fight back, but Latchko is through. So Adam Latchko up into 6th place. Tyhouse now looking to the outside. A little bit of contact there. That could see Latchko running wide. Tyhouse is going to get the switchback. And a little bit cheeky there from Bjorn Tyhouse. I'm not sure if it was done on purpose, but he goes back through with the help of a little bit of a push there on Latchko. Latchko will not be pleased with that. Anderson has been brought back into play as we have someone coming down the inside here. There is a little bit of contact, and there is Adam Latchko. Is he going back through? Yes, he does. So Latchko there giving it back to Tyhouse, and Tyhouse 2-1 to him as they go into the tight right-hander, and Anderson's going to benefit potentially on the pair of them here. Anderson going through, he's gone into 7th, now he's looking left down the inside. What driving this could be from Jamie Anderson, and he goes through. Fantastic from the British driver as Latchko and Tyhouse fight with each other quite literally. Jamie Anderson goes up into 6th place. Thank you very much, says the British driver, and Adam Latchko and Tyhouse there just worrying about each other too much and forgetting that Jamie Anderson had the best seat in the house and benefited from it. Brilliant opportunistic driving from Anderson. He's now up into 6th. However, we have got 55 seconds plus 1 added on lap remaining, and we are going to be going on to, I think, the penultimate lap now next time they cross the line, because Kiss has indeed just crossed the line. So the next one and one more for these three, as Anderson is now going to be the one defending as they come up to the penultimate corner. Through turn 12 they go, now to the final corner, which is flat out, and Anderson just getting a little bit out of shape. Through turn 13, the downhill right-hander they go. This is where Tyhouse made that mistake last time, which kicked off the battle between himself and Latchko. Now down towards turn number 1 they go. So it's Anderson, Latchko, Tyhouse in that order as they make their way down towards turn number 1. Latchko sort of debating which way to go here, looking left, looking right. Behind him, Tyhouse trying not to run into the back of him. Oh dear, and there goes Tyhouse. He goes round there. Now, what on earth happened there? Let's have a look. This is a replay. Now, it looks as if Tyhouse is trying to avoid going into the back. Oh dear. Well, I wouldn't like to say Latchko moved across on him intentionally there, and Latchko getting it all wrong into turn 4. But it almost looked, I don't know if that was a glitch from Latchko that caused that, but Tyhouse was trying to look to the outside, trying not to run into the back of Latchko. Latchko just decided he didn't want to turn in, and there you can see under investigation are the pair of them. I'm not too sure if that was a bit of a, I wouldn't like to assume it, but I hope that wasn't a bit of a revenge driving there from a frustrated Latchko. Looked like there was maybe a glitch that kind of caused all that, but well, race control will look at it a little bit more than we will, and they will make a decision on that as now we come downhill. So here we go. 23 is under investigation as well. That's the driver, that's Jamie Anderson, who we look at. So he is also under investigation. These three, well, really battling hard, aren't they? It's the last round, of course. We have one more race after this this afternoon, and that will be the second reverse grid race, which Tyhouse will be on pole position. If these three, particularly Latchko and Tyhouse, if they keep fighting this hard, then there really is going to be a queue forming behind them, isn't it? It's going to be a real chaotic race as now, once again, Jaden Anderson under pressure, albeit from one driver rather than two this time as he goes down towards turn number 1 for the final time in the race. He's trying to defend the inside here from Latchko. Latchko looks to the outside. He's going to try and get the switch back here through turn number 2 as race control confirming we are indeed on the final lap of the race. Norby Kiss has a 13-second gap. Andre, I don't know if he's taken his foot off the gas slightly, as there you can see Latchko trying to get down the inside of Anderson, can't find a gap. But Andre is being caught a little bit by Sasha Lentz. Nothing to worry about, but interesting to watch. Oh, and there's contact. That's contact there from Latchko running into the side of Anderson. He's going to run him out wide. Well, that was a little bit cheeky, that from Adam Latchko, I have to say. Anderson pushed back to 7th place, and I wonder if Jaden Anderson is going to try and give him a taste of his own medicine here with half a lap remaining. We'll wait to find out, but out front, we go back to the driver that has absolutely dominated this series. He already is the champion, is Norby Kiss. And for the 12th time, he's going to become a race winner in the ETRC Digital Racing Challenge. Across the line comes the Hungarian, and he's already taken his hands off the steering wheel. Norby Kiss takes the race win for the 12th time this season. And then we wait 13.5 seconds to have our second place driver, which is going to be Jonathan Andre. For the 7th time, he finishes on the podium, the four of those being in 2nd place. Sasha Lentz then, his 14th podium of the season, as he comes across the line to finish in 3rd place. That also confirms him as your vice champion as well. Then we have the number 30, well, then we have, Teo Calve behind that. Now, the number 55, Latchko, has been told he has to give 6th place back to Anderson. And he has time to do that as well. But Teo Calve finishes 4th. He will now be confirmed as 3rd in the standings. Albacete finishes in 5th place behind Teo Calve. Then we have Latchko and Anderson, who have been told they have to swap positions. Latchko giving the place back to Anderson, as Latchko didn't do it, but their positions will essentially be reversed post-race, I'm sure, which will mean it will be Latchko and Tiehouse on the front row as they go head-to-head once more and quite literally get their elbows out. So that's going to be an interesting one to watch. Tiehouse does round out the field. He will be pole position for the 2nd race in the Digital Racing Challenge here at Harama, and the 16th and final race of the season. Brilliant racing as ever. I did tell you it was going to be an interesting one to watch, and hopefully we're going to be able to get to talk to some of the drivers as well once they have made their way back to pit lane. But that's Norby Kiss. What a performance from him. He has just completely dominated proceedings, and despite already winning the title, he has not lost any determination, has he? He still decides he wants to go and take race wins, and that demonstration of with a few of the drivers doing the same thing, of how much they are enjoying doing this. When you crash in esports, you don't have any damage to pay, and that is why we get to see things like this. So there you can see, coming around the final corner, I'm sure some of them probably do it in the when they're out there for real as well, but they certainly go for it a little bit more in esports, where you can do things like that and not worry about a bill coming your way at the end. So well, there you go. That was quite interesting, wasn't it? Let's see if we can speak to some of the drivers. I think Norby Kiss is in the waiting area, and indeed he has been moved in with us now. So Norby Kiss, I'm sure you, I hope you can hear me. 12th win of the season, 14th podium as well. Looked like you enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Okay, good. Yeah, it was good. You know, the start was a little bit close, you know, and everybody was really fighting behind me, and I could see like people crashing a little bit, you know, or pushing each other a little bit behind me, and also I got a little bit of a kick from behind, but fortunately I could keep it on the circuit and keep the lead, you know, and build a gap to the others, you know. So after the first lap, it was quite safe.
This looks like one of the more trickier circuits. Would you say that's fair enough in comparison to something like the Bugatti circuit?
Yeah, actually, you are right. Well, the Bugatti has its own, uniqueness or its own tricks. But this Harama is definitely one of the most difficult. Also in the real calendar and also here in the sim, it's very bumpy. A lot of curves, that you have to use like half of the track, but also be very careful not to cut them because then the game takes away your lap time. So it's really strict about the track limits. And the bumps and these fast turns, downhill like the last turn and some of the turns in the middle sector. It's really difficult.
And of course, now you're going to be put to the back of the grid for the next race. Have you enjoyed that challenge when you're with the reverse grid races of trying to make your way through?
Yeah, sure. It's always a nice challenge, and it's always a little difficult, to keep it safe, stay out of trouble, but yet still, try to make up some places. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward for this last race.
We are all as well. Thank you very much for speaking to us, and I'm sure we'll be speaking to you again later on in the program. Thanks very much, Norby. Good luck. That's Norby Kiss there, and a brilliant performance by him to once again take race victory and continuing his podium runs as well. As we said, 14 for the season now is Sasha Lentz. Hopefully he can hear us, and hopefully we'll be able to hear from him in just a second. I can see Sasha Lentz has joined us in our channel. Sasha, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good stuff. Well, that's a start, isn't it? Oh, we can hear you. Don't worry about that. How was that one?
Yeah, it was very good. I have a good start and was a little bit quickly in the first corners, and then I become a touch from Theo. I lose my place, and then Theo make every time I have a problems with the brakes, and then I become my position back, and it was a nice race, and now I'm position 2 in the championship, and I'm very happy.
Yeah, of course, that was confirmed in that one. Gap 38 points now, so all confirmed, which is good. That takes the pressure off, do you think, a little bit going into the next race now?
I don't know. We will see. Every time when I say I have the chance to win the race, I'm lose more place. I go
well, let's say
after the.
Well, let's say you won't win it then, and maybe it will work the opposite way. But we saw some really close racing, down the field. We did see it can be hard to overtake out there as well. What are you expecting from the reverse grid race now?
I looked at the first 1 or 2 laps. What I have the place, what is on my front. Maybe I can 1 or 2 people overtake, and then we will see. I'm happy. I'm now. I drink a champagne.
Well, good stuff. I think that's more podiums than anyone so far this season. So brilliant job, Sasha. Really consistent, and I'm sure that will continue in the next race. Good luck for race number 2.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sasha Lentz. We will leave him now, and we will actually head over and speak to Bjorn Tiehaus, who was in that really hectic battle down the field. Bjorn, that was a real crazy race, that one.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, I can say. A lot of banging, but it's racing, eh?
That's it. Well, that was one of the things. I think that can be seen 2 ways. When you're watching it, you can almost assume that all of the drivers are going to be really frustrated. So it's nice to hear that it was actually really good fun for you guys.
Yeah, you also get a little bit frustrated, but it's how do you say it? It's a game, it's fun to drive. So yeah, I can be angry, I can make protests, but why? We all know each other, so just drive and have fun.
That's a really sensible way of looking at it. And you're going to be at the front for this next one. We did see, of course, it's at times it's hard to overtake out there, but are you expecting that first lap to be a bit of a hectic lap?
Yes, I hope I can make the first lap on the first place, but I don't think so. We will see.
We'll see. You just have to try and make the truck as wide as you can. But we're coming into the last race now. What have you thought the whole season? Have you enjoyed this digital racing challenge?
Yes, I was very happy with the chance I can drive for my cousin Erwin. So yeah, it's nice to do, but you need a lot of practice. But what kist is so fast. I don't know what he's doing, but this week I don't have a lot of time to practice, so yeah, now I'm not so fast.
Well, that's just one of those things, isn't it? But we really enjoyed that. You gave us a lot of entertainment. I'm sure you'll enjoy watching it back as well. Good luck for the next race. You're going to be going off the front of the grid, so I hope you have good fun out there.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you to Bjorn Tyhouse. I believe that's in terms of interviews, that's all we'll have time for in this one. We'll get more drivers in for the next one as well. So brilliant, isn't it, to actually going out and speak to some of the drivers there. So real good fun overall. And next up, of course, we'll have the second race. We give the drivers now, as we usually would, a little bit of a chance to have a break. If you're watching at home, chance to go and get yourselves a drink, get yourself comfortable again, because very shortly we're going to be going into that second race. I'm already sweating buckets from how entertaining it's been, so I'm going to give myself 5 minutes as well. We're going to be going into a quick advertisement now, but don't go anywhere. Make sure you join us for what is going to be the reverse grid race number 2, the last race of the season. And as you just saw in that first race, it's going to be absolute chaos out there. So make sure you do not miss it.
At Goodyear, we understand the challenges of business. Your fleet is out on the road working hard, and you need tires you can rely on. Tires that are more innovative, more advanced, more versatile, and most importantly, better for business. Introducing the new K-Max and FuelMax Gen 2 range. K-Max Gen 2. Superb mileage, optimal fuel efficiency, and better all-weather capability. Excellent mileage levels, significantly improved traction throughout the tire life. And FuelMax Gen 2. Exceptional fuel efficiency, increased mileage, and better all-weather capability. Excellent fuel efficiency, significantly improved all-weather capability. Gen 2. More innovative, more advanced, better for business. Welcome to the next generation. The new K-Max and FuelMax Gen 2 range from Goodyear.
At home in Germany, on the go in the world. Every year, up to 20,000 vehicles drive from our depot in the Swabian town of Burtenbach out into the world.
Novum is our new fully revised trailer concept. Novum not only introduced the new external frames and body, but also the new optimally designed Kugel modular system with optimized uniform new modulus assemblies and components.
In the category concept, first place was awarded to Burtenbach.
Kugel's innovative Novum generation trailers have been awarded the International Industry Prize Trailer Innovation 2019 in the Supreme Discipline concept at IAA Commercial Vehicles.
Our mission is to move your freight, thereby making our contribution to your profitability, so that your cargo arrives quickly, safely, and efficiently. Today, tomorrow, always.
At Goodyear, we understand the challenges of business. Your fleet is out on the road working hard, and you need tires you can rely on. Tires that are more innovative, more advanced, more versatile, and most importantly, better for business. Introducing the new K-Max and FuelMax Gen 2 range. K-Max Gen 2. Superb mileage, optimal fuel efficiency, and better all-weather capability. Excellent mileage levels, significantly improved traction throughout the tire life. And FuelMax Gen 2. Exceptional fuel efficiency, increased mileage, and better all-weather capability. Excellent fuel efficiency, significantly improved all-weather capability. Gen 2. More innovative, more advanced, better for business. Welcome to the next generation. The new K-Max and FuelMax Gen 2 range from Goodyear.
At home in Germany, on the go in the world. Every year, up to 20,000 vehicles drive from our depot in the Swabian town of Burtenbach out into the world.
Novum is our new fully revised trailer concept. Novum not only introduced the new external frames and body, but also the new optimally designed Kugel modular system with optimized uniform new modulus assemblies and components.
In the category concept, first place was awarded to Burtenbach.
Kugel's innovative Novum generation trailers have been awarded the International Industry Prize Trailer Innovation 2019 in the Supreme Discipline concept at IAA Commercial Vehicles.
Well, welcome back to part 2 of the ETRC Digital Racing Challenge, the season finale from the Harama Circuit in Spain, where we will now go racing for the final time. It's been an absolutely fantastic season. If you missed race 1, well, you can go back and watch it afterwards, and I highly recommend you do. It was a brilliant race. The likes of Bjorn Tiehaus, one of their drivers that was really involved in all the action in the battle for what was 5th, 6th, and then 7th place as well. Lots of incidents going on, but overall really good racing. And as Bjorn Tiehaus said, it's a little bit of fun, and it's good to hear that they are all enjoying it and not taking it too seriously, not getting arguing with each other. He did say he got a bit frustrated with some things, but overall having good fun, and that's what we're having as well. We're getting closer to doing it all for real. FIA European Truck Racing Championship going to go racing on the 29th and 30th of August to get the season underway. Then we go to Zolder, we go to Jarama, then Hungaroring, Le Mans, and Misano. Now, if you did race 1, whether you're with us or not, we'll just recap for you who finished where exactly. So we'll bring up the results for you now and go through exactly who finished where. Well, as we're used to seeing, Norby Kiss took the race win for the 12th time this season. He would finish out front. Very comfortable it was for him as well. Almost 14 seconds ahead of Jonathan Andre, who was on the podium for the 7th time. Sasha Lentz got back to podium winning form. He finished 3rd, 14th podium of the season for him. Teo Calve finished in 4th. Antonio Albacete finished 5th, which takes him to 90 points. Then we had Adam Latchko, who was involved in a lot of dramas. Jaden Anderson finished in 7th. That brings him up to 79 points. He's in the battle with Albacete for position in the championship, so that is one we're keeping an eye on. That is 4th in the standings. The gap was 7 points coming into race 1. It's now 11 in the favour of Albacete. And Bjorn Teichhaus rounded up the field after some late dramas for him. Of course, he's one of the drivers that isn't on the MAN, he's on the Scania. On the Freightliner is Adam Latchko. Good race 1 it was overall. We'll confirm the standings for you in just a second. Here they are. You can see the standings now coming up on screen for you. Norby Kiss on 278, and we have the likes of Sasha Lentz on 199. He's now confirmed as vice champion. Teo Calve confirmed in 3rd place. Antonio Albacete on the 90 points, as we said. Anderson 79, so we'll be keeping an eye on that one throughout the race. Jonathan Andre is 10 points ahead of Adam Latchko, so that's another one we'll be keeping an eye on as the race goes on as well. Jonathan Andre versus Adam Latchko for 6th place in the championship. Of course, wherever they're battling for, they want to get ahead in the standings. So 2 battles in terms of championship to keep an eye on, and then a brilliant race to watch as well, with Bjorn Teichhaus leading us from pole position with the top 8, of course, the 8 drivers all reversed. But let's now have another look at the trap. It's time for the Ford F-Max lap. Well, here we go then. Let's bring you the grid for the last race of the season in the ETRC Digital Racing Challenge. It's a shame that it's coming to an end, but what a season it has been. 8 fantastic rounds which has brought us here. And now we get ready to go racing for the final time in the ETRC Digital Racing Challenge. So 8 drivers out there, wherever they finish, their positions now reversed. for the grid as well. So Bjorn Tyhouse is going to lead us. He's going to be on row number 1 with Jamie Anderson alongside. Row number 2, it'll be Adam Latchko and Antonio Albacete. Then on row number 3, it'll be Teo Calve from Sasha Lentz. Jonathan Andre and Norby Kiss will be on the back row. So from the bottom of your screen upwards, that is the grid for you. Norby Kiss starting right at the back of the field. It's going to be an interesting one, this one. If this reverse grid race is anything like what we saw last time out at Le Mans, I can tell you it's going to be one that keeps you on the edge of your seat all the way to the end. Norby Kiss has shown some fantastic pace around here. A little bit more impressive. He seems to have a little bit of a bigger gap here than what he did back at Le Mans. And I think that's going to make it very, very difficult for the rest of the field to keep him at bay. It's going to be all about how long Tyhouse can stay out there. When his brother was racing in his place last time, he was pole for the second race, was Henry Tyhouse. After 4 corners, he was in 8th. So let's see if Bjorn can do a bit of a better job. He says he's been down on testing on that one, coming into this round, shall I say, but let's see what he can do. He'll do some good defensive driving. He's going to be on row number 1. There you can see Anderson will start alongside to the right-hand side of your screen there as we make our way down the field. Antonio Albacete to the right of screen. He's going to be on the outside of row number 2 to the inside of row 2. Starting 3rd will be Adam Latchko. And as we said, Albacete will start from 4th place. Then we get to the next row. It's going to be Teo Calve starting to the inside, and he finished 3rd in the first race. Sasha Lentz will be to the outside. And then the back row, the top 2 in that first race, Jonathan Andre finishing 13 seconds back from race winner Norby Kiss. He goes off the back row and he will want another double victory like he took last time out at Le Mans. Make it 13 wins for the season if he can do it. That's the grid. It's going to be a brilliant race. 8 of them out there. Positions have been reversed. And it's all about how long those guys up front can hold on. Jamie Anderson, who is to the right-hand side of the front row as we look at it. He was one of the drivers who benefited from a good starting position back at Zolder, and he became one of just a few race winners this season. So it can be done. Last time out at the Bugatti circuit, Norby Kiss got his way up to 2nd. It was Teo Calve who actually went on to take the victory on track, but did receive a penalty. It was due to pushing track limits just once too often, and he dropped to 4th. Now we have a couple of battles in terms of championship. Antonio Albacete and Jamie Anderson, they are battling over 4th place in the championship. They have 11 points between them. So Anderson needs a good result here, and he's just going to be hoping that Albacete loses ground from where he is. He's starting ahead of him at the moment, but let's remember the points differences are not a huge amount. Now, if Anderson was to win and Albacete were to finish 5th, then Anderson will go ahead of him. We also have the battle for 6th in the championship between Jonathan Andre and Adam Latchko. The difference between them in terms of gaps is 10 points in the favour of Jonathan Andre, but as you can see, he is starting a little bit further down the field than Latchko, so he'll be hoping that he can either keep within 10 points well, he'll just be hoping, sorry, that he can either keep within 10 points, I'll get my words out eventually, of Latchko. Latchko will be hoping to take advantage of a better grid position, and he'll be hoping Andre has a little bit of difficulty making his way through. That is the situation in terms of the championship. All will be revealed, but I think more importantly than that, we are going to have our last race winner of the season crowned here. And is it going to be a new race winner? I wonder. Only time will tell. Anderson has taken wins so far this season. One of a few drivers to go out there and do that. Let's see who else can put themselves as a race winner so far this season. The likes of Norby Kiss, Teo Calve, Sasha Lentz, also a race winner, as is Jaden Anderson. Only 4 race winners so far this season. All 3 drivers having 1 win to their name, bar Norby Kiss, who now has 12 to his name. Let's see what he can do as they make their way up towards the final couple of corners. The Mercedes Actros will now pull in to the pit lane, and then we will go racing. As we look down the start-finish straight, to the left-hand side of your screen is going to be Ty House, and to the right, Jamie Anderson. Well, the 8th and final round, the 16th and final race of the season in the ETRC Digital Racing Challenge is about to get underway here at the Harama Circuit. The truck's waiting for the lights to go green, and when they do, we will be off, away and racing with Ty House leading us down towards turn number 1. And there we go now. Ty House leading us down towards the first corner for the first time here in race number 2. Anderson immediately slotting in behind. There's already a little bit of bumping and barging. They're 3 wide. There's going to be contact, and Anderson is going to drop all the way to the back of the field. Drivers running wide. A little bit of chaos. Oh no, that's the I think Ty House has been spun round there. Likewise, the number 55, I think that was Latchko. Yes, it was, who was also spun round. So all of this has left Teo Calve out front from Jonathan Anderson, and Sasha Lentz is up to 3rd place. Norby Kiss, well, all he had to do was keep his nose clean, and he's already gained 4 places. He's now up into 4th from 8th place. Side by side are Jonathan Andre and Teo Calve out front. Sasha Lentz almost having Norby Kiss come to the inside of him as well. But what a shame that was for the likes of Ty House and Anderson, both drivers on the front row finding themselves with dramas. Latchko also caught out in that. He was facing the wrong way as they came out of turn number 2. Real disappointment. It's left some familiar faces at the front in Calve, Andre, Lentz and Kiss. All podium finishes as we have race control pinging out a message here, and it's a red flag. Well, this has happened before. If there's big dramas, particularly to the pole position drivers, the front row drivers at the start, then we have a red flag. Let's look exactly what happened then. So it's the 3 drivers behind Ty House we're looking at. You can see they're all side by side. Driver in the middle there getting squeezed by the likes of Anderson and someone on the inside as well. That's going to see Ty House get tagged, as you see there. Then he's helped round. Latchko, likewise, he's helped round there by Sasha Lentz. And that left then Teo Calve out front, and I think Calve was the one that got that all started. Actually, he was the one right on the inside going in towards turn number 1. He was on the grass going before they even reached turn number 2. I keep getting 1 and 2 mixed up, but he was already on the inside on the grass as they broke. That left Ty House almost tagged all the way round, and then we had Sasha Lentz, I think it was Adam Latchko, wasn't it, who got turned round by Sasha Lentz, and that unfortunately meant that we are going to have a red flag. So we have 5 minutes until the start of the restart. Now, it's Adam Latchko that is actually under investigation here for this red flag. He actually found himself facing the wrong way. He was, I think, up to no good before that we actually got across the line. I'm not sure if he had a jump start or not. So here you can see the start once again. I think it was a server issue that actually left Adam Latchko out of position as they're going to make their way down towards turn number 1. There you can see just the barging in the background, and on the inside, someone already going over the grass, as we said. Anderson is going to be tipped round. It was Teo Calve that was on the grass. He actually then helped Ty House round. I don't think it was on purpose. I think it was just as Ty House was rejoining the track, there was Teo Calve, and unfortunately he went round. And I think most of the drivers at this stage would have been expecting those red flags. It's been something. It didn't happen at the last round, actually. We didn't have a red flag there. But listening to David Addison, it had become a fair theme. It happened at Zolder as well. We had a red flag at the start of race number 2 there as well, with an incident at the first corner, first lap, took out the race leader and a couple more with it. Red flags come out and we have a restart. It's something we can do in esports. You know, it doesn't take a huge amount of time to get everyone back to where they were and restarted again. So it's something that the officials have decided to take advantage of. And good on them, because we don't want to see a race ruined at the first lap, first corner. Particularly if we have two drivers on the front row, we don't want to see their chances ruined. I think drivers were a little bit too keen to make some positions at the start there. There was a server issue as well for Adam Latchko, which caused some dramas for him. That had a knock-on effect. So, a couple of incidents, but also a server issue for Adam Latchko, and it's the latter that we are now seeing a red flag for. So there you can see we're going to have 3 minutes, I think it is now, until the restart. So while we have a little bit of time, you all know the situation in terms of the championship. You all know what happened in the first race. You all know the grid for the next race. So let's talk about the FIA European Truck Racing Championship, which is going to go racing in 2 weeks' time at Most in the Czech Republic. The 12th and 13th of September will be round number 2 at Zolder. Then we're going to come to the track we're on now, Jarama, which is just a stone's throw away from Madrid. We're going to be there in about 6 weeks' time now, the 26th and 27th of September. Hungaroring is going to be round number 4. That's going to be one I'm definitely going to be tuned in for, because the Hungaroring in trucks, as I say, you have to forgive me, I'm a little bit new to the truck racing community, but that's going to be a real interesting race, because it's quite a narrow track, isn't it, the Hungaroring? So really looking forward to that one. Le Mans, that's my favourite track already for this. I absolutely love the Bugatti circuit already. It produces brilliant racing in motorcycle racing in the likes of Moto3, Moto2, and so on. And I knew that would be a good one, a really good race to come in and commentate on. Really enjoyed that one. That's going to be on the 7th and 8th of November. And then we go to Misano on the 14th and 15th of November. Again, Misano, a little bit tight and twisty in some places, but overall a really, really good circuit. The Italian tracks, always good to go racing on, aren't they? So definitely hope I can actually get out to one of those, whether it's I'm sure David Addison's going to be there for the season, but hopefully I'll be able to get out to one of those races. If not, I'll certainly be tuning in this season, because we're going to have some fantastic racing. Don't go anywhere. If you're getting bored of listening to me rumbling on, we only have less than a minute to go now. So you don't have to wait too much longer before we're going to get the restart underway. So it's going to be fantastic. But that's the calendar. 2 weeks to go. Make sure you note that in your diary. The situation in terms of crowds, hopefully we're going to have be allowed to have people go to the races. So make sure you keep an eye on the European Truck Racing website for information in terms of tickets and so on. But there you can see, bottom right hand side of the screen now, the Mercedes Actros is ready. It's in position. It's ready to lead us off for the rolling lap, which will be in 10 seconds time. The lights are about to start coming on. When they go out, the 25-minute clock will start ticking away. And I'm being told now, there you can see, lights are all on now, and we're about to go away. So there you can see, the pace truck is going to lead us off. So 25 minutes on the clock starts ticking down. We will, of course, add a lap on to make up for the lost time, which we do lose in the warm-up lap. If you're wondering why the time does start ticking down, I can tell you that is a theme within esports. It happens in most championships. So things like this do basically happen to make up for it. When a race starts getting off and running in esports, a clock has to start ticking somewhere, essentially. So the server begins, the race begins, and we, of course, do rolling starts. We don't do grid starts, so that is why the clock starts ticking. But we add the lap on at the end to make up for it. There's Anderson and Tiehouse. They are your front row. Tiehouse, the one who's going to be on pole position. They will be fairly relieved that the race has been red flagged, because now they have a chance of taking advantage of their starting position. Behind that is the likes of Albacete, Lentz, Latchko, Calve, Andre, Norby Kiss, who got all the way up to 4th place at the start there with all the chaos that was happening around him. He'd probably be one of the people that I don't think he would be disappointed. Oh, that's oh dear! What on earth is Latchko? That's Anderson, isn't it? Now, is he having a server problem, or has he decided? I think that's a server issue, isn't it? I don't think Jamie Anderson is busy on the phone. I think that's genuinely a server problem there. Well, that opens up the inside row. And it will be Albacete, won't it, who will be the one that will take the place. I'm sure he's going to have to leave the gap still on the inside, but the number 2 of Antonio Albacete has a clear road ahead of him now, so that makes things a little bit easier. It gives him one less driver to overtake, so it will be an empty front row for Bjorn Teihaus, who will not be disappointed with that at all. He will be able to take whatever line he wants down towards the first corner. I'm sure he'll decide he'll want to defend that inside line. He, of course, felt the full impact of what can happen at the start. So round the final corner, I think it's been a disconnection for Jamie Anderson, which is a real shame, but we still have 7 drivers left for the 8th time and the final time in the FIA ETRC Digital Racing Challenge. We are about to go racing at the Harama Circuit. Who's going to be the 16th and final race winner? Let's find out. As the lights are about to go green, Teihaus is going to be on his own on the front row now, who's going to lead us down towards the first corner and the first braking zone at turn number 2 for the first time. Here we go then. Teihaus gets us underway. Already side by side are Albacete and Latchko. Latchko on the inside. Calve is going to try and go down the inside of the pair of them, just like he did at the first time of asking. And Teo Calve is through. The number 20. Brilliant driving. He's up to second place. Sasha Lentz spinning left, spinning right. Oh dear, he just about holds on to it, I imagine. The number 2 of Albacete getting a little bit airborne there is Teo Calve, who's up to second. Albacete getting a wheel on the gravel there. Latchko getting all out of shape. That's going to cause a knock-on effect behind. Jonathan Andre just bumping into the back of Albacete as they now come into the right-hander at turn number 5. But so far, so good. A mostly clean start, and the top 2 have a little bit of breathing space over the rest of the field. Andre and Kiss have just swapped places. I think that was Andre getting back past Norby Kiss. Then Norby Kiss is now going to take that place back once again as he goes up into 5th place, the first ever champion in the ETRC Digital Racing Challenge. As they head downhill then through the right-hander, there you can see the number 6 behind of Andre, the number 30 of Sasha Lentz behind that. No Anderson, unfortunately, he's had a disconnection. I'm not too sure if he's been able to rejoin or not. Hopefully he does, and he's able to take the checkered flag and officially round off the ETRC Digital Racing Challenge. But this is a very similar situation here to what we saw last time out in the second race, and that is Teo Calve taking advantage of his position to lead the race. And as we saw last time, he's not an easy person to get by. He can make that truck very, very wide as he now comes through the final corner. Second there, you can see, is Teihaus, and it is Latchko, Albacete, Kiss, Andre Lentz, and then Anderson will be the next classified driver as they head now down across the start-finish line. This a battle here between Norby Kiss, who's trying to make his way further up the order. He's going to be side by side with Albacete in the red colours. You can see Norby Kiss to the right-hand side of the screen. He's trying to get down to past Albacete and the number 2 there as they make their way round turn number 2. The number 6 in the yellow machine, that's Andre. Then in the green and black colours is Sasha Lentz as they now come round through turn number 3 and in towards turn number 4, where we saw a little bit of contact throughout the last race as Norby Kiss just running a little bit wide. In fact, just getting a nice wide line, in fact, wasn't it? It looked like a mistake, but that was a sacrifice the first apex to pick up the second one. Job there from Norby Kiss, trying to get past Albacete here, who got his first podium last time out, and if he gets past Adam Latchko, we'll be in a position to add to that here in the last race of the season. This is good work. Calve and Teihaus, whether Teihaus just can't keep up with Calve, I think that might be the case here, but nevertheless, they haven't battled with each other, and they're building a gap whilst these guys dispute third place. Oh, a little bit of contact. Albacete's off. Albacete's off there. Unfortunate contact between he and Norby Kiss. Norby Kiss gets off the throttle to allow Albacete to go back through there. I think that was Norby Kiss running wide, caught the back of the number 2 there of Albacete, and it was just unfortunate there as Sasha Lentz runs wide. I think he was helped wide there by the number 2 of Albacete, and Norby Kiss says thank you very much. 2-for-1 deal for him as he goes through now into 5th place. I'm sure we'll see another look at it, but Sasha Lentz trying to fight back now. A little bit too much curb, you could argue there. It's easy to run 4 wheels over the inside of that curb, but that's got him past, I think that's Anderson. It is Anderson behind. He's now a lap down, but nevertheless, he is away and running at the back of the field, which is great to see. So Calvé leading from Tiehouse, and Calvé, good times from him. Tiehouse has sort of stabilised this gap now, hasn't he? Up to just under 1 second. Then it's Latchko who's got Andre for close company. Norby Kiss not too far behind that. Albacete next along. Then it's Lentz and the Anderson, which is a 1 lap down. Now Albacete and Andre are both under investigation, excuse me. So that was for a little bit of contact throughout the early part of the lap, I believe. There you can see Andre just getting a little bit wide. That's Albacete, the number 2. The number 30 behind in the green and black. That is Sasha Lentz. He's trying to get by quickly. The top 2 are getting away, and Latchko will be aware of that, as will Andre and Kiss, who will want to get by as quickly as they can. It's nothing against Latchko, who's had good results at times this season. Adam Latchko, he is in the number, Adam Latchko, sorry, he's in the number 55. Here we go on board with Sasha Lentz, but Latchko's best result coming into this round was 6, so he'll be looking to improve on that as we go on board here. There you can see Sasha Lentz working at the wheel as he makes his way downhill. Tricky braking zone this. Also under investigation, Albacete once again, and the number 40 of Norby Kiss. Well, we saw what that was for. Although they're under investigation, I don't think that will go any further because Norby Kiss did let him go back through. But really slow on the steering, isn't it? You can see compared to, say, driving something like a single seat or even a GT car, it's got to be really smooth on the steering, really patient driving in truck racing. Got to just wait for the truck to get into the corner and also get out as well. But everything is kind of exaggerated, isn't it, when you're driving these compared to other cars or GT cars or single seaters, as the number 40 there. Oh, once again giving Andre a little bit of a tap. Andre going into Latchko as well. Kiss didn't really come off for him, that did it? He done himself worse than benefiting from it. So again, I think he'll get away with it. Behind him is Albacete, but look at the gap now. Top left of your screen, that is the live gaps between the drivers. Tiehouse around a second back from Calvé, but the gap between them and the rest of the field up to 4 seconds now. As uphill we go, and looking to the outside here is what will be getting a frustrated Jonathan Andre. Likewise, Norby Kiss. Latchko with his hands full as they make their way underneath the Dunlop Bridge. 15 minutes plus a lap to go, and Andre desperate to try and get through here. Oh no, he's got that braking zone all wrong, and he's going to go into the back of Latchko. He's going to run wide, and he's going to open the door for Norby Kiss to go through, and maybe someone else as well. Mistake that from Andre. He hasn't benefited from it though. He's lost, but also losing out on that is going to be Adam Latchko, I think, as Norby Kiss is now drawn alongside as they make their way downhill in towards Bugatti. Norby Kiss trying to look to the outside, not where you want to be on the outside this corner, but he's going to be given the space to try and go all the way around the outside, and he's not going to get through. So that's going to allow Jonathan Andre to get back into position, oh, and going straight on. Is that a server problem? I think it might have been from Latchko. It was. So server issue for him as he goes straight on, and that has meant Norby Kiss has gone through. I think the distraction caused for Andre has seen him lose 2 places there to both Albacete and to Lentz as well. So now Kiss is through. The chase is on, isn't it? As he now has to try and close down the top 2 ahead. His task, 5.7 seconds. To remind you, he won race 1 by almost 14 seconds. So even though just under half the race is gone, that's very much doable for him as Jonathan Andre, that's become a familiar sight there, just a little bit of bumping through the slow corners, something we're used to seeing really, and seeing it a little bit more here. Sasha Lentz ahead of him in the 30. In the yellow is Jonathan Andre, and Sasha Lentz being warned for his track limits in that number 30. On board we go now with Jonathan Andre. You can see Norby Kiss ahead, already getting away, isn't he? His gap over Albacete, podium finisher last time out, is 1.4. There we see Jonathan Andre to the right hand side of screen. Looks fairly relaxed. He's sitting in 6th here. He'll just want, well, he would hope to have been passed here by past Lentz and Albacete to try and tag onto the back of Kiss and work with him. We'll have to keep an eye on that gap. It's 4.4 seconds with 12 minutes and 45 seconds plus 1 lap remaining. Tyhouse will probably have seen this now in the standings on his screen, and he will start to become very nervous and may start taking risks and making mistakes that he wouldn't have done before. And you can already see, I think it's already having an effect on Tyhouse as his gap to Calve is 2 seconds. But up ahead, Albacete making a mistake. Lentz directly ahead of us is going to close in. And Jonathan Andre might become part of a 3-way battle here for 4th place. We jump on board now with Sasha Lentz as they head down the start-finish straight. This to complete half-race distance. Across the line we go. Sasha Lentz there, just trying to look to the inside, and there you can see now peering to the inside here of Albacete, filling the mirrors there of the number 2, not able to get through. Has it forced Albacete into mistake? No, it hasn't. Albacete getting a little bit tail happy on the exit, but I think controlling that very nicely indeed as they come up towards the turn number 4 left-hander, Lamont. Kiss has taken over a second out of Tyhouse in just under 1 lap. They head uphill. Tyhouse in 2nd, Kiss 3rd, but this is your battle for 4th we are looking at. Sasha Lentz in the middle of this trio. He's in 5th, directly ahead of him, and at the head of the trio is Antonio Albacete. Andre next along. As on board we go with Jonathan Andre, and you can see, compared to the last lap we were on board with Andre, just how big that gap is ahead, and that is being helped by the fact that Albacete has now decided to get on the defensive. Downhill brakings, Lentz leaving a gap on the inside there, which Andre wanted to have a little play in. Couldn't quite get into there though. 1.5 seconds now the gap between Kiss and Tyhouse. We're going to, I'm sure, have a look at that battle. I say all this, Calve's doing a really good job to keep his gap to Norby Kiss fairly stable through the final corner. And onto the start-finish straight we go. This, the main battle on track, the 3-way battle for 4th place. Albacete to the right of screen, and on the inside there is Sasha Lentz. Has he managed to find some space there on the inside? Has he managed to draw alongside? He hasn't. Having to think about going up the inside into turn number 2, and he's going to give it a go here and has to just back out of it at the final minute, but at least he's starting to try, isn't he, Sasha Lentz there? That's the first time I think we've seen him try and moving towards turn number 1. You can see how it's affected him by not pulling it off. He's now invited pressure from Jonathan Andre, but he's starting to attempt this now. Sasha Lentz has given it a go once. When he catches back up, he will know where to try next time. Uphill they now make their way. Less than 10 minutes plus the lap to go. Anderson, Latchko sitting off the back of this. This is your battle for 2nd. We did say it's going to happen soon, and Norby Kiss will not want to waste any time in getting past Bjorn Tyhouse. Tyhouse is defending, so my question of whether he'll let him go through has been answered. That answer is a no. And Bjorn Tyhouse is going to do the best he can to hold off the Hungarian for as long as possible. Downhill they go, less than 9 minutes remaining in the race. Up ahead, all of this good news to Teo Calve. He wants to get that 2nd win that was taken away from him last time out. Uphill, and Kiss is now alongside. Whereabouts is he going to try and make this move? Is he going to try and brave it all the way around the outside? Well, he's going to give it a go. Norby Kiss on the outside. Tyhouse giving him just about enough room to play with. And I think Kiss has got the run here as they make their way now through the final corner. Norby Kiss in the number 40. Red colours there is going to be fully alongside and past now as they come down the start-finish straight. Brilliant driving from Norby Kiss. Good racing by the pair of them. Bjorn Tyhouse giving him the room that he deserved. Bjorn Tyhouse and Norby Kiss treating us to some brilliant racing there. In the background, look at Sasha Lentz. He's now trying to get alongside Albacete there. Can't quite get through. Pulls back in to tucked back in behind the number 2 here of Albacete. All of this is bringing Adam Latchko into play, isn't he? He's just off the back here. So we've got 3 fighting for 4th, but that could very soon become 4. The gap between Andre and Latchko is being shown at 12 seconds. So I wonder if that's actually Anderson. It is. Apologies. So it's Anderson who's behind, but he is a lap down, so he'll still be classified in 8th place. And Latchko is actually 12 seconds back from this. So Anderson, even if he does make an impact on this battle, he would have to be given those places back anyway. So I think he's going to stay where he is until the end, unless we see any of these drivers go off. Okay, one thing we do have to keep an eye on is the gap between the 2 leaders, isn't it? It's 5 seconds with 7 minutes to go. Teo Calve leads. We haven't seen a huge amount of Teo Calve. He did all the hard work going through turn number 1, getting to the inside at the start of the race, and Teo Calve has found himself in the lead of the race here. There's Norby Kiss, 4.8, 4.9 is the gap. It hasn't come down from that though. It's not been coming down from that at all. Calve seems to be absolutely flying with confidence out front. However, I do not want to speak too soon. If Norby Kiss, has he been saving something within himself with the tyres for later in the race? I'm not so sure. Let's find out. But the gap has come down by half a second on this lap. So it's down to 4.4. And it was a personal best lap from Kiss. However, in the background, Tyhouse did make a mistake, so this is one we need to keep an eye on now as well, because Tyhouse coming out of the final corner, you may have spotted it in the background, but Tyhouse went off onto the gravel. It's not the first time he's made that mistake today either. What is a flat-out corner, pretty much. Tyhouse making a mistake. He's starting to feel a little bit nervous. I think that's what it is here for Bjorn Tyhouse. And now when he looks behind, he'll see 4 drivers, 3 of those on the same lap as him. And the gap is now really starting to come down. This is good news for Albacete, because he's been at the head of a pack for some time now. Now he'll be the one that sits second in a pack, and that will kind of give him something to look ahead to rather than having to keep looking in his mirrors. So Albacete will be doing everything he can. If he's closing down Tyhouse, then Sasha Lentz in 5th, second in that queue behind. He will decide, you know what, I'm just going to sit where I am, wait for Albacete to close the gap down, then I'll try and make my moves then. I might be wrong, but you never know. It might make Sasha Lentz just a little bit more patient in this race. 5 minutes to go, and Norby Kiss, he's really starting to get his foot down now, isn't he? It looked as if Teo Calve had it in him to match Norby Kiss, but Norby Kiss appears to have been waiting, and he now really is starting to take huge chunks out of Teo Calve. 4 minutes to go, though. There's not going to be a lot of time left when, even at the rate Norby Kiss is catching him, there really won't be a lot of time left when he does catch him. I hope I'm not getting you confused with the guys on screen, because, of course, it is Bjorn Tyhouse we are on board with. Behind us is Albacete, Lentz and Andre in that order. And then behind that is Anderson, who's a lap down after a server problem for him, or an internet connection problem for him at the start of the race. So down towards turn number 1. This your battle for 3rd, which is really going to start getting heated here as Sasha Lentz. This is the 3rd time he's tried this now. Down the inside at turn number 2. Just draws alongside Albacete, but Albacete has enough to hold on round the outside. Well, we haven't been with them the whole time, but you have to feel Sasha Lentz has got to start trying somewhere else now, because at turn 1, it just isn't working for him. Sasha Lentz is going to have to try somewhere else, but this, as another mistake there from Tyhouse, and trying to catch him off guard here is Albacete. He tries to dive down the inside, and on the exit, Tyhouse is going to be all out of shape. He's going to be delayed, and now we have a 5-way battle here for 3rd. 4 of them technically on the same lap, though, so this is going to be really exciting stuff. This is just like what we had in the first race, albeit it was for 5th rather than for the last podium spot. Drivers in here we have that haven't yet had a podium so far this season. One of those being the guy who is leading this in Bjorn Tyhouse. He has not had a podium so far this season. Albacete has, Sasha Lentz has, Andre has as well. Latchko's not involved in this, but he hasn't. So if he can somehow catch these guys, then he'd have a chance as well. But he'd need huge traumas for that to happen. Right down the inside, Jonathan Andre in the number 6 there, trying to force his way down the inside of Sasha Lentz, and he's gone through. So he goes through. Sasha Lentz losing out here. So it's Albacete second in the queue. Andre is now third in the queue. Leading the queue is Tyhouse. Battle for third. Tyhouse leading it, but for how long is the number 2 there of Albacete trying to dive down the inside? He makes a little bit of contact there with Tyhouse. Tyhouse coming back at him in the background. That's Jonathan Andre who's gone off in the yellow truck there, and he's going to lose a huge amount of time. Sasha Lentz also went off as well, but we must pay attention to these two at the front. Tyhouse to the right of screen. On the inside, Albacete as he makes his way now down the inside, and Albacete looks to be getting this move done here as they come through turn number 2, and that is Albacete up into third. Currently, he will now be on for his second podium of the season. Last time, his first one, he got a podium post-race. This would feel so good for Antonio Albacete to get a podium on track now and have that result confirmed for him to take his second podium of the season, and one that would feel to him like his first. Brilliant driving from Albacete. The battle behind is not over, though, is it? You can see there. I think Anderson has actually gained a couple of places now, the driver who's a lap down. He's got Sasha Lentz behind him, and I think that's Tyhouse as well. Tyhouse and Lentz battling for fourth. But look at the two leaders. The gap, 1.4 seconds. 1 minute and 20 plus a lap to go. So next time they cross the line, there will be just 2 laps remaining, and the battle for the lead getting ever closer. Under investigation are Albacete and Sasha Lentz for what we saw in the last lap. We'll have another look at it, I'm sure, but that's where it all kicked off. As running wide there is Anderson. Oh, and Anderson clattering into the side of Tyhouse. Tyhouse is now going to run wide, and that's going to feel so frustrating as Sasha Lentz goes through. That all happened with a driver that was a lap down. Real frustrating stuff, this from Bjorn Tyhouse, who was in a podium position, but it's all gone wrong for him as Anderson now dives down the inside of Sasha Lentz. He's just under 2 seconds. He's 2 seconds exactly as they come across the line. Sasha Lentz here in 4th place, just behind him. The lapped Anderson, the number 15 of Tyhouse, but the leader's getting ever closer. 1.3 seconds is the gap now. This is the closest it has been between our two leaders. And here we are. This is 2nd place, Norby Kiss. There you can see ahead of him now, Teo Calve. To the left of screen, Norby Kiss at the bottom of your screen there, and just above him, that is Teo Calve. Norby Kiss looks very relaxed, doesn't he? He's on a Sunday drive.